we studied about the phases in the risk management process. So today we are going to study about the risk management process. Okay, let me share. So before going through any risk management process, we should first always identify the sources of risk, because why this will help. If we are able to detect what caused that risk, then we will able to like remove that risk. So you can find the few of the sources of risk. Like in the last class, we have also studied that risk are of two types: external risk and internal risk. So it is not in our hand to remove the external threat, like that any risk that comes from like political sources or natural disaster, that things are not in our hand, but we can obviously try to remove the internal risk. Now let us see what are the sources of risk are there. So we have some legal regulations, market and economy, human resource related, natural disasters, political circumstances, upheavals, terrorist attacks, technology and technical risk, management and activity controls, process related risk. So these are some of the sources of risk. So first, there are few steps in the risk management process. Okay, now whatever the sources of risk might be, so we should always remember that when it comes to risk to an organization, whether it's any organization, there will be some loss. Okay, so it may be depending on the situation, depending on the organization, it may be financial loss or it may be any human life loss. For example, if you make some mistake in a if you have developed a software and that software is for a healthcare or like for a healthcare system, maybe for a hospital, and you have not done properly, so that risk might cause the loss of life when it comes to the in hospital, the healthcare system. But when it comes to suppose any other organization, maybe any on commerce organization, then that risk will obviously lead to some financial loss. Most of the organization due to the risk, like we have this IT sectors also. When we, in the IT sectors, risk means it will lead to some what loss? It will lead to some financial loss. Now let's check what are the steps for what are the steps involved in the risk management process. So there are various steps are there, but today we are going to find just the few almost to evaluate the risk steps. So let's see. So first one is to establish the context. So establish the context means every like whether as I said, whether you have any enterprise or project objective needs to be clearly mentioned. So basically, these factors will influence the objective, whether it's both the internal or the external. So risk management will remain the same for any enterprise level or any IT level. Okay, so every project in an organization uh, should be carefully evaluated for all the risks, because risk I just I mentioned for any organization, risk leads to some loss. So that is why we have to identify the risk at a very early stage so that we can avoid such kind of risk. So first we need to establish the context, in which case we will find the risk. So for in that establishing the risk, it will have the following four activities. First is the set the scope. Once you have set the scope, you can define the broad objectives, then the stakeholder identification, and later is the information gathering. So what is the set the scope? So what is the scope of the organization, right? What will be the scope for the risk assessment? How will you assess the risk in that case? Basically are the scope of the risk. So it can be like any new organizational initiative, or like what happens if a new policy suddenly comes in. So all these things will be understanding the what will be the scope for the risk assessment. Then we have to define the object. Once your scope is decided, then we have to go for the objective. So you have to you originally find out what why are you going for the risk assessment. Okay, what is the actual reason for it? Okay, So these things like could this risk be again be repeated when it is required, or it will be a one time thing. So this when a new law has been see government changes, and according to the government new laws comes in. So the organization need to think all this risk in mind and have to define the broad objective. Next, we have the stakeholder identification. I told you in the previous classes, the stakeholder is someone who take interest in your organization. So it is very it will be very beneficial if we have certain people who have interest in the organization, are informed about the all the activities and the initiatives of the organization, from the very start of the project, very start of the project, the people who have interest in the organization, that is the stakeholders, must have the must know what is must be highly informed that what is going on in the organization, so that in the long run they won't feel left out. And last is the information gathering. So here in the information gathering, so what happens, you have you have set the scope already, you have defined your objectives, you have identified your stakeholders. Now you have to access the right information at the right time. Okay, so which will be, what information will be benefit to your business, like information regarding the project, then how will it be affected. So all these things, where you will find the resources, how much investments will be required, so all these things you need to gather the information. So I have mentioned, I have included a few of the informations here. So what kind of information you can, sources of information you can find out is basically the business and the strategic plans, then reports of various audits. So you know that in every organization's audit is done in a annual basis every year. So whether you have visited any site, what are the, you have to build the reports. So for auditing also you need a documentation that is in this in so and so year the auditing was this auditing was done and this was the review. Yeah, so all these things are mentioned in the report. Similarly, assessment, the risks are assessed every year. So probably the risk that was valid in the last year may not be valid. So all the risks were assessed, so they need to be documented. What are the hands of expertise of the people, whether it's the employees or the staffs, okay, and it's the information of any other old risk you had, you need to assess this, then the surveys you have done, maybe the insurance claims, okay, then historical information, all these are the sources of information. So basically this establishing the context will it will help to understand the scope of the risk assessment, why we are going for assessing the risk. So it is very so it is conducted basically to understand the scope, like in what circumstances we may face what kind of risk. So these are the basically it will help us to get the scope of it. So now, as we discussed in the earlier classes, the main activities in the risk management is to identify the risk, analyze the risk, and evaluate the risk. Three activities, right? So we'll study that only: identify the risk, analyze the risk, and the evaluate the risk. Now this three process is known as risk assessment. Okay, this together is known as risk assessment. So first, let us move to the identification. This is the second stage in the risk management process, where it will identify the context for the risk management, and also it will try to identify the risk that would impact the achievement of whatever goals you have set for the organization. If you so it may, if you don't identify it, that may impact it. Okay, so basically the scope and the scope of your organization. So basically it will involve determining the sources of risk, then the areas, maybe the possible causes and the events of occurrence. So when it comes to this risk identification, we need to ask the following question. If it can it will, these questions will help you in identifying what are the risks are there, where in which areas there risks are being held, they are highly risk areas. So you can think of this question: what could happen Okay, if the risk is there, what could happen? How could it happen? Okay, the like if a particular risk is there, then what will happen? Then how will it take place? Where will it take place? Then what are the reasons of occurrence of that risk? So what is the possible impact of the risk? Then uh, which of the stakeholders are impacted by the risk? So I told you, right, stakeholders, there are many stakeholders for an organization who have interest, right? So it may not be right that that risk causes everyone, like everyone is impacted by the risk, but it may the who are the stakeholders that will be impacted by this risk are identified in this stage. Now the third stage is, as I mentioned, is the analyze the risk. So once a risk has been analyzed, like identified, we can now establish like the possible cause and impact it has. Okay, so we will have to analyze the risk. So, so we have to now next analyze the risk and develop a detailed understanding. So basically, the existing processes should be analyzed to check like how effective they will be to check the risk occurrence. So we have the certain process steps are there involved in analyze. So it's a big one. So first is the identification of control procedures that are already present. Next we have the analysis of the existing control to check their efficacy in eliminating and migrating the risk. Assess the likelihood of occurrence of risk, then assess the impact or consequence of the risk and rate the risk. Now what we have will check what we'll find in the identification of control procedure that are already present. So basically it will the existing procedures like follow in the organization that are already organizations that they have several procedures. So already whatever procedures are been in the organizations that needs to be identified, right? They have to be first try to find out what are the procedures that have been following in the organization that can possibly help like if they are to mitigate and eliminate the risk, right? So if it is not possible to completely like eliminate it, but yes, we can try to reduce the impact of it. And next is the analysis of the existing controls to check their efficiency, that is efficacy in eliminating and mitigating the risk. So what happens here, the identified control procedures which we have found in this step, where it can be analyzed to check how effective they are in eliminating or mitigating or managing the risk. Okay, so if the control procedures are such that the risk can be totally eliminated, then the risk has to be updated with the flow. So if the risk is completely removed, then we can just give a status that it is closed. Otherwise, the control procedure eliminates this risk will have to be documented again. So again, if we have done such kind of procedures, we have to document it. We have to make a report, and that thing will be identified in the information gathering. Okay, now assess the likelihood of occurrence of the risk. So likelihood, we have used such terms. So likelihood means what is the what is the probability that leaks or probability of risk occurrence. Okay, what at the so this is the so we have to find the probability. Okay, so they can be basically classified basically low, medium, or like high, etc. Next, we have assess the impact of consequence of the risk. So what happens in this step? The impact. So how impactful your risk is described. So again, it can be again classified whether it be medium, low, or high. Okay. So and the last one is the rate the list. So basically, we'll do a give a it will calculate a risk number using a risk matrix. So this matrix will not go into detail, but yes, we can like we have a cost benefit analysis. This basically this manage when you study the subject, any financial subject. So these things are done in that subject. Okay, so we'll not be going into the depth of it. Just remember, in rate the risk, what we do. We calculate a risk number and a using a risk matrix. Okay, so suppose you can think a matrix is there where like based on the impact of the risk, a number is given. Okay, so we can again classify it as the high, medium, or low. So we can if I'll get some example of the risk matrix, I will obviously show you. And the last one in this case is the evaluate the risk. So basically, this evaluate means like it will decide on the like acceptability of the risk, whether you can accept that thing as a risk or not. Because all the things, all the identification you do, all the objectives may not have might not be a may not be a risk. For a risk, we have to consider there are few terms are there, so that conditions needs to be satisfied. So based on the risk the appetite. So I'll explain you first what is this risk appetite, risk altitude, and risk tolerance. So basically, this risk altitude means the way in which an organization will assess the risk. Okay, so this is known as the risk altitude. How an organization will assess the risk, and eventually it will either pursue the opportunity by mitigating the risk or accepting it, or by dropping the opportunity. It's called the altitude. Okay, next is the risk appetite. So basically the amount of risk an organization is willing to accept is known as the appetite. Okay, the how much, and last one is the risk tolerance. So tolerance means the amount of risk the organization or the stakeholders is able to bear after risk treatment or mitigation is called as the risk tolerance. So uh, now this risk altitude, appetite, and tolerance can vary from unit to unit within a company, within a organization. Okay, next these things I decide that these things based on the risk appetite of the company. Now any risk, either it will be accepted or mitigated. So now I hope this are clear, this risk appetite, attitude, and risk appetite, and the risk tolerance. So it will be once we have understood this now, based on this risk appetite, like how amount of risk you are able to take, um, your risk will be accepted or mitigated if it is too high, that are initiative, or be it's a business initiative or internal organizational initiative, will it be dropped. Okay, so now basically generally a risk is acceptable if there is no risk treatment option available, or the cost benefit analysis clearly comes out of stating that the risk treatment option is costlier. So these things leads to the terms to be accept that risk. Okay, so now these three terms, these three steps we studied about the risk identification, analyze the risk, and evaluate the risk. These three terms together known as the risk assessment. Okay, whatever the studied, so these are known as the risk assessment. So we have studied in the last class these steps. Okay, in the risk management process, so we have assess, here is the control is also. These three things are known as risk assessment. So any confusion? So we have studied basically today risk management process, where we first identified those who joined late, for them I'm just repeating once more. So we studied about the sources of risk, because sources of risk help us to identify and the problems, and we have tried to mitigate those risks. If you want to eliminate this risk, and all risk, any kinds of risk, it will have some impact, whether like you have financial loss or you may have life loss. So I gave you a healthcare industry example, where in the healthcare industry, if you risk may if there is a problem, if there is a risk in the software, may lead to loss in the human life, or if when they're in any other sectors like IT sectors or commerce sectors, if you have risk, that means it may lead to financial loss. So basically, in the previous class, we have studied that risk out of two types. Risk comes from two sides, right? Two factors: external factors and internal factors. So external factors we cannot remove it, but because it's like all the political circumstances, then terrorist attacks, then natural disasters, that is out of our scope. we are not sure about not out of our means the organization scope, but we can obviously take care of all the other things like the internal one, like we have the human resource related, or we have technology and technical risk. So all these things we can thought of. So next is the moving to the risk management process. We have first need to establish the context. To establish the, we first need to identify the context of the risk. Okay, so there we have first we decide on which area we need to set the scope, and which in which area we can have to identify, and then once we have done, we have to find out the objectives. Okay, what will be the objectives for assessing the risks, and we have to identify the stakeholders. So stakeholders I just mentioned also that it's someone who has interest to the organization. So like if those kinds of people needs to be informed about those risk assessment or the from the beginning of the project itself, then we'll go for information gathering. So the information gathering, we know that there will be some kinds of business plans and strategic plans, and obviously we'll go for every manually audits are done, so that needs to be documented, which will be helpful in identifying the risk, and also hands of expertise of the people. These people involve basically your employees of the organization, and also the information regarding all risk investment risk event investigation, because these things will help us in knowing like what kind of risk we may get in future. Next is the risk identification. So these are the questions that to consider when we go for the risk. So like what could happen if the risk is there? So how will it take place? Then where it could happen? What are the reasons of occurrence, impact, and also the stakeholders, how the stakeholders are impacted. So we need to think about in the risk identification. So later we have to analyze the risk. We just studied about the identification and the control, and then we analyze all the procedures. What are first we need to identify the procedures that needs to be taken, and once we have to analyze how that procedures can be followed, and we have to then find out the probability of the risk and to occur. Then we can classify it as whether it is high risk, medium risk, or low risk. Later we have to impact like assess the impact of those risks, and again we can classify it as classify it as this one high, low, and medium. And later we can have the rate the risk. So in the rate the risk, we'll have a basically a rate matrix. Okay, risk matrix will be there. We can have again, and then from this risk matrix we'll get I told you this risk matrix will not go into depth. Actually this is basically a commerce type of thing. Risk matrix we don't calculate it, so this will be done, and later we can find its impact on it in again in terms of the low, high, and yes. And the last one is the evaluation of the risk. So we studied about the risk attitude, risk appetite, and risk tolerance. So all these things like this step 2, 3, like identify, analyze, and evaluate thing is known as the risk assessment. Okay, now any confusion in this part? And I'll directly take the attendance. Just wait, let me take that. Okay, thank you everyone. Your class is over today. Enjoy your weekend.